gotten myself into a little bit of trouble here. She might not make it, actually. In fact, there's probably no way she can make it.
Oh man.
So I'm gonna try and get up. Actually, I'm gonna try and. Oh, she has one last chance. Oh, but I don't. Okay.
Awesome.
No. Oh, it's over. I can't do it. Whoa. What did I do? Oh.
Did you firebomb yourself?
I did.
That's awesome.
So what I had was I actually had some firebombs. That's not always going to happen, right? But I had a grenade, or if I had the firebombs, I was like, screw it, I'm going to take them with me.
So I saw an achievement unlock there. Was that for
you just saw the blaze of glory.
Okay.
So I'm gonna restart in a different spot here. Let's go.
Now, how many options are there for you to call stuff in?
So as you progress through the game, as you progress through the story mode, you'll meet different characters that will then give you different options. You're never going to have as much as you saw because that was the debug menu.
Okay.
But so you're going to have. So these are your search options, and as you go through the world, you're going to meet some. First, you have to get to your first base, and then you learn how to call for scavengers from the base. Then you learn how to establish remote outposts where you can go and resupply and safely switch to new characters. Those are out there. They may need to be protected over time and stuff like that. So, and then after you get used to some of that stuff, you can learn to relocate your base and 5 or 6 different spots that you have to relocate.
But you have one main base, right?
So you always have a main base, but it can switch.
Okay.
So right now we're in the Savini residence in our large town of Marshall. There's 3 bases here that have different capabilities. One's a restaurant, one's a warehouse, and then one's just a regular house. Okay. All of them come with different combinations of facilities, and then you always have the option to build at least a couple optional facilities too. And then there's a base over here in the middle of the map that's more of a farm base. It's spread out, but it's a lot farther to get to scavenging areas. But it's safer too, right? And then we've got a couple here. So your starting base is here, and then there's another base over here that's bigger and lets you spread out a little bit more. There's also a base over in this area that you can't get to until later in the game.
Now, is there any way I can get you to zoom out on the whole map, or is
this is it?
That's the whole map right there?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm just excited to see the whole thing.
So this is where you'll expect to start the area. This is the tutorial.
Okay.
It's like a camping retreat area that's got cabins and tents and stuff up there. It's also why you didn't know for the last 2 weeks that there's been this apocalypse. So you came out of the mountains and all of a sudden all hell breaks loose. You work your way down to this area. There's stuff to do in all these areas. If you go out and about, you'll find places where people tried to survive, right? They ran off into the woods and got caught. There's campsites where you'll find survivors out there. There's shacks and barns and stuff that look abandoned, but people have tried to hole up on them.
Is there, now I saw the autosave. Now, does that do that every once in a while, or is that when you open the map?
That autosave will happen based on events and things that happen. So if there's a change in, if there's a change in the world that needs to be saved, it'll autosave. If somebody gets hurt, it'll save that so that.
I like how the guy right there is just hanging out.
You know what's funny about that guy? He's the laziest asshole in the whole place. He's one of the characters you can't play because he's a story character. He's Pastor William. And it seems like when all the other characters are doing jobs, he's the guy who goes out on the deck and eats stuff. I don't know if they were able to tune that on the design side or not, but he makes me so mad. So your base, when you take it over, will have you'll always have a place where you can communications, and that's important because Lily's always there, and you have certain things you can do from the communications area. You can ask for, you can say, hey, we're open to more people if you need more people to sort of do jobs and cover things. And then you can ask about the different types of supplies you might need or looking for at the time. And if I ask about ammunition cache, it's very likely that those are going to show up on the map as places to search for. So I'm
loving the detail of this. I saw the medicine bottles on the floor over there.
Me and another guy spent a long time, putting some detail in the world, and each one is different. That was important to us too. We wanted places to look lived in, and so this base is unfixed because it's treating it like I just found this place and moved in. So what I need to do when I get there is the first thing I do is go to each one of these and fix it up. And then once those are fixed up, you'll start getting the benefits that those built-in facilities have.
Now, can you fix up more than one thing at once?
Oh yeah, I just set all three of these to fix up.
Cool.
I can also, okay, so you're spending influence every time you do an action at your base because you're not the king, you're not the ruler, you're just part of the community. So I have to spend influence that I gain by doing missions and killing zombies and bringing stuff back. I spend that influence to borrow weapons and things out of the weapons case, but I'm also gaining influence as I improve our lot. Right, as things improve, people start to recognize that I'm making good decisions. And
another thing I like is the fact that when you have this open, the character pulls out their notebook. So that's a great touch.
So then. Now I have 3 spots at my base that are available for things that I want to do. So depending on what else is there, I've already got a library, so it's going to be cool if I build a library. Helps you research different things. If I research a garden and I build a garden, I can have a better producing garden. It's going to produce more food, require me to send less people out looking for things to do. I can also, make my own fuel. I can build mines and even drugs and stuff like that if I have the right facilities. But it tells you what I need. So, I'll definitely build a medical area, and I'll definitely build a workshop because those are really beneficial. Workshop will repair your weapons and your cars overnight.
Now, is that a garage here?
So these are parking spots. I have parking spaces for three cars. You can park a bunch more cars. They'll always be there. But these are the 3 spots that will be that somebody will come out and fix things at overnight. These cars are, the weapons will be graded over time. If you use the same one, use the same gun a lot, it'll start to jam. And once you unjam it, it'll start to jam a lot more often. So you want to take it back to your base, leave it in the workshop, or at the weapons locker, and somebody will come by and clean it up, try and get it back into working order.
Now I know there's a crazy amount of weapons in the game. How many are you dealing with in the demo here?
So I've unlocked everything because I'm the one who made them all, and I like to look at them. So you'll see that I told those guys to fix up the base, and now they're in the clean state. They're not all knocked over anymore.
Here's that guy again.
And there he is eating. I hate that guy. Seriously. And people will use the beds as they're needed. This guy is apparently trying to do something that shouldn't be. I'll tell you, I will be honest. The AI in our game has been a nightmare to get to do the right thing all the time. Most of the time they do stuff like they're supposed to. They walk around, they do their jobs, they run around the world. Then they get to, for some reason, he'll try and get to that corner. I don't know why. It drives me nuts. But we're working on it. We're getting there.
Yeah, you're in the double digits for months now. That's excellent. Congratulations.
Thanks. It's been a long slog, but we're really happy with it. People will use the bed if they're tired, right?
Is that a National Geographic?
It is a Geographica Nationale. This is a low-res texture right now because we're still working on getting a streaming system to work. But yeah, it's not actually National Geographic. We had to change all that stuff.
That's neat though, yeah.
But yeah, so people will actually use the facilities as they're meant to be. Someone will come in here, and if I tell them to cook a meal, you'll see somebody come in specifically, like start cleaning or pretend like they're doing some work. He's eating. What?
It's the same apple. It's got to be the same apple.
Well, he was eating beans like a minute ago. Yeah. I hate that guy.
So your blue bar is stamina and red is health?
Red is health.
Is there a way to increase health, or is that dependent on characters?
That's dependent on characters.
Very cool.
And it's also dependent on things I do in my facility. So I can temporarily boost everyone's health at home if I cook a feast.
Okay.
Now the feast the guy who's cooking will say, we're out of steaks. I need you to go find some steaks. It's the apocalypse. There's not going to be many steaks on. But to make this feast, I want you to go find it. So I go look it up, find the steak, bring it back. And then my people enjoy like 2 days of feeling better and being more vital.
Do you ever have to worry about hordes coming in?
Hordes will, if I'm up here if I'm doing a lot of stuff at home, eventually a horde will wander by. And if we attract its attention, it'll attack the base.
Now, I know you can keep cars wherever you leave them. So, is it possible to just put a bunch of cars, around your base and then protect yourself that way?
Absolutely.
You can do that?
You can spoof the zombie AI by doing stuff like that. One really dangerous thing with stacking a lot of cars together is that they will totally chain reaction if one of them goes up. So if you park a busted, like a car that's really close to burning up or blowing up, you could lose all your sweet rides really fast, and they don't respawn, right? There's a limited number of everything in the world. There's a couple situations where that's not necessarily the case. If I run out of cars completely, we won't be total assholes about it. We will spawn some. And there is a guy you can meet who, for a price, will bring a car to you.
Now, I saw the M there. It's Trumbull Valley. What's the M stand for?
M stands for Marshall.
Marshall, okay.
So,
now, are there landmarks for each town?
No. We've got three sort of main areas, three main town areas. We got Marshall, we've got Spencer's Mill, which is more of sort of a transition between mountains and the rural. This is sort of Eastern Washington inspired farming area. And then this is sort of your farming town, more of a farming town that was established and has seen better days. We call it a faded Americana. So you look down this street,
that's awesome.
and these buildings were built in like the 1890s for the most part, but they haven't really been fixed up lately either.
So what button do you have to hit to open the door? Oh, actually, I see that there. That's cool.
Yeah. So please forgive the textures that haven't loaded in. We're working on that as we speak. But each one of these is going to have their own flavor.
You can kind of see into the buildings there at some points. That's cool.
Yeah, and you can go into every single one of these buildings too.
Nice.
So the police station I'm pulling up at happens to have a donut shop attached to it. But so I'm going to go in here, and it looks like these people tried to organize themselves a little bit. There's searchable props in here, and you're going to find what you'd expect to find in a police station. Here's their lockup, their evidence locker. I'm going to go in here and I'll probably find stuff that's useful as weapons because they confiscated all this stuff. Yeah, there's a shotgun and some ammo in here.
Now, is that a machete?
That is a machete. It's a pretty flimsy one. So if I go look at the description, cheap chain store blade, and it'll break pretty soon because it's cheap. I got it at Walmart. Right?
Now, is there a limit? I mean, I know the weight is definitely a factor, but if you get to a certain point, are you going to be over encumbered?
Yes, and I'm going to hit that probably before, depending on what I grab. I'll probably hit that. Oh, landmine, cool. You're not going to find a landmine very often outside of things like where you'd expect them, but you will.
Yeah.
The people of this valley are very well armed and don't follow federal firearms laws very well. Okay, so what I can do is, oh, I can't jump over there. Oh crap! Oh crap! So she's pretty good at fighting right now. But if there's a lot of things you can do now that I've got the landmine. I can set it here and then run over here and take some shots. That'll get those guys probably moving over this. Oh shit! So I'm gonna dodge.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's
I love how the limbs come off. That's excellent. Oh.
So, come on, guys.
Does that guy wear body armor?
Yeah, he's a SWAT guy. So I can't shoot him, but I just lured those guys into the trap and they got it, right? So the SWAT guys you have to melee unless you find Molotov and you can burn. They still burn. Now there's some big dudes that I can spawn here. Boy, all the army guys are coming after me. So I'm gonna temporarily take some. Come on, let me get it. Oh crap! Shit! Oh, they're not letting me.
Is the environment? I remember in one of the early videos when you somebody shot the Spencer's Mill sign and it rolled down the hill.
Yeah.
Is that still in there? And do you have other like environmental stuff you can do?
Yeah, a lot of it's for fun. This is actually the Undead Labs office.
Oh, look at that. That's awesome.
I had fun making this one.
That is awesome.
We put up a good fight. We rallied we threw our desks over and rallied, but there's nobody left.
That's very cool.
Some of the other things that you can do are, so that Ted's boot sign, it'll come off the wall.
Oh, and is it possible to kill a zombie with it?
You can actually crush a zombie with it.
Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell me this, but is that an achievement?
No, not that one.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, physics. So then there's things like you'd expect to find. We have a big grocery store. That's very dangerous.
That makes sense. We got some like cranes.
There's some other, there's a horde. That's not, we're tracking so many zombies that we can't have like 500 zombies in a horde. But
is that a drivable car right there?
No, it's just for show.
Okay.
It's the Piggly Wiggly towing. We're hoping someday to make that a drivable car, but we had to. The cars themselves in our game are one of the biggest memory hogs. You wouldn't believe how much memory it takes to get an individual car in. So we had to limit it to a certain number. So we have an SUV, pickups, some sports cars, stuff like that. So
if you drive into the Bronto gas pump, does that explode?
These pumps do not, because the gas isn't actually stored there.
Okay.
But something like that might be, if I can actually. This is a shotgun, it's not doing as much damage. Actually, what I should do is lure those guys over there. Let's try that. So I lure them over, and then boom!
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I took damage too.
Yep.
So it's not completely unfair.
Can you sprint while loading this game?
After I start my reload, yes.
Okay.
Reloads take a lot longer in this game than in most games because
that makes sense to me. That's good.
Because not everybody's a military expert. You get better as you gain skill in some of the guns. You'll get better at reloading on the fly. If I'm interrupted during my reload, I have to start over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go look for some food because I need some snacks. You'll see here that my weapon is now telling me that it's damaged and it could break at any moment.
So does it turn red or anything when it's about to break?
No, this is as much notice as I get.
Okay.
It's damaged. And if I take it back to my work or to my base, then then I can turn it in and somebody's going to fix it and it'll come back to life.
Now, are there unlimited guns, or can you create guns?
I can't create guns, I just got to find them.
So, okay. So, what happens if you run out of guns in the game? Do you just have to make sure you keep restoring them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And guns won't break like melee weapons will, but they will become next to useless.
Okay.
So, as long as you take them back and turn them in, eventually somebody's going to get it working.
Now, when you're checking a place for resources, I see up there you've got like the question marks and the fork and spoon. Is that like how many resources are in the building?
It just gives you the kinds of resources that are in the building. So I might find, right now it's telling me that there's food in this gas station. I may also find some useful things for construction. I may even find medicine here. Based on the fact that it's a convenience store, stuff like that. Oh, I found nuts and bolts and I need it to help finish one of the places in my base.
Oh, okay. That's cool. And now, does every building have like 1 or 2 entrances, or can you jump out of windows at like any time?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's my favorite way. You know, okay, one of the less realistic things is jumping through windows and not really suffering any damage, but navigation was important. So some buildings will have breakable windows, but it's not really feasible to get up there, so you'll have to go through the doors, but there's other ways. One of the things we're super proud of is how you can get in and out of most of the buildings in our game.
Yeah.
It's just, even in other open world games like GTA or Fallout, you still have a limited number of buildings you can actually go in. Ours
is very unlimited. It's awesome.
So this is a concession, obviously a concession stand. I'll just pop through here. And it'll let me take a look inside to see if there's zombies hanging out. Thankfully there weren't. So the kinds of things I'd expect to find in here would be food or utensils.
So you got a zombie coming up behind you too.
Yeah, so what I did there was, oh shit. So, try and push him out. Oh, it's not gonna let me. I'll just kill him. Oh, I kicked him over.
Nice.
Now sometimes if they fall out backwards, they'll smash their head or break their neck. He's gonna pop up and come at me again. So I can push him down, then I'll finish him this way. Smash. Most of the time I'm just gonna find food in places like this. There's a freezer. I had the option of doing a regular search, which is slow and quiet. Most of the time I do a fast search, but very often during a fast search, it's gonna inspire some zombies to come chase you down.
I have to nerd out for a second. The fact that you guys put Twinkies in the game, thank you so much.
So many nods to Zombieland, because when we first started this, Zombieland was one of our biggest inspirations, because they had to look around for stuff. I mean, obviously they weren't doing the base building thing, but we have a fairgrounds. We don't have the moving rides or anything, but we have a Ferris wheel. That was a nod to that, and it was just a really important inspiration to us to try and infuse some humor as well. Since we do have player death, it's more serious than we originally started out as, but there's a lot of homages to zombie canon, sort of the big names in zombies like Romero and Savini and a lot of those guys. Some of our achievements are based on like the #1 rule is cardio, so as soon as you level up in cardio, it's like #1 rule. Right?
Very nice.
So there's lots of stuff like that.
Now I saw a water tower in the background to the left. Is that accessible at all? Or?
That particular one is not, but there are places that you'll want to climb up to survey the area. Let me run down to the car and I'll show you.
Do you have any basements? Any basements or any underground?
Let's see. There are no basements. And that's technical because of the way that Crytek deals with pathable areas that are at different levels. you have to stitch an area around a house. Say if I had a basement with voxels instead of geometry, and it's a real pain in the butt, and also sometimes doesn't display the same, and so we decided against it.
Okay.
It's a lot easier to do double-story houses than houses that have basements. So I'm going to go down to an area that I can use as a survey point. There are certain building tops you can get on.
Okay. Like roofs and stuff?
Yeah,
that's
certain
cool.
rooftops that act as that. I'm going to go down to an area that has a more manageable...
I love how the town is formed to get the gazebo and everything. Because it's like, you know, if the zombie apocalypse never happened, it's a nice quaint little town. I love it.
So we're gonna, and there's different neighborhoods and different styles of houses. Like this is more of the upscale. No, this is more of the upscale area. So the houses are nicer and things like that. So I'm gonna go run over here. Doesn't have any guns selected. Well, there was one. No, I mean, he doesn't have any guns. No, there was. Let the shoulder was.
If it's this slow or if it's this slow, you're gonna dump it in water. Why don't you let me dump it too?
Was there a So I can climb up here. Sorry about that.
No problem.
So there's different kinds of. If you drive around the world, you'll find a billboard. You can climb up. You can climb up on top of the Ferris wheel, and it'll give you a better perspective of what's around.
And I'm telling by everything that's around, there really isn't like a small amount of cars in this game.
No.
Like you can see them all over the place.
So this is, I can get, I mean obviously it's a house, but it also lets you know if there's an infestation. So if zombies have moved into that place, it lets you know without having to walk up and knock on the door.
I see the infestation right there, that's neat. Now I saw to the left there was like an abandoned building,
Yeah.
windows and everything, a chimney right there.
So it's letting you know sort of what to expect from. So houses I know will have a pretty good variety of stuff to go look for. Sometimes I'm going to find a warehouse that's going to have more construction related things. So this is mostly your meeting. Show me. So anyways, that's
it. That's the thing. It's the thing with the thing that does the thing.
Undead Brant, Undead Labs, thank you very much.